is my name, the State Chairman of APGA, Progressive Grand Alliance, Abia State Chapter. Well, as far as that zoning is concerned, for today, APGA is not interested in that. APGA has not been in government before. And so we cannot talk about that. But it is always good, just as Southeast is also crying, give us a slot. Give us a slot. So those who have not tested it should also be allowed to have a slot. So as far as Abia equity is concerned, APGA does not engage in discussion on that because we believe in quality candidates who can deliver the dividends of democracy, no matter where the person comes from. Until after 2023, and then thereafter, 8 years after, we can now say, okay, Abia South or Abia Central, you can now go. Do you understand me? Fine. So, but for now, we've not tested power here. Allah Soti's exit in APGA has not diminished, has not in any way diminished the popularity of APGA in Abia State, and I think people know that. I don't know where to start. Is it paying workers' salary? Is it in the health sector? Is it in pensioners? Is it in development, infrastructural development? So where do I start? Is it in excessive taxation? Where do I start to score them? I don't know where to start. That's my problem now. I don't know where to start. Is it a government that is, that is being run, the more you look, the less you see? So where do I start? I don't know where to start to score the state. The current, that is why they must be voted out of power come 2023. Look at the teeming youths roaming about. There is no good program for the youths. Nothing. I'm finding it difficult. But one thing I know, actually, I can say is that, I said it earlier, God has been so gracious to us. We don't have insecurity here, except, what happened at, Omomos or sometime, because of carelessness and, lack of focus, of this present government. Abattoir at Obo Hill, you relocate it to Omomozo in Okwa West, where there is no water, no river, nothing. And you relocate it there, leaving areas that have water. There are lands in Obingwa that are close to Aba. That place, Omomozo, is far from Aba. So what the sense is doing it? Except that they want to use that opportunity to grab land. Okay, look at Okwa West. That is an oil-producing local government that laid the golden egg of this state. You need to go to Okwa West and see. There is no road, no youth empowerment, nothing to show that local government is an oil-producing local government. Nothing to show. He only blessed them with abattoir that also cost, only generated, could have generated a very serious security risk. But I thank God that God has been so gracious, giving us, security here, unlike what is happening in other areas. I think that's where I say, God, thank you, because if it is not for Him, the carelessness, the carelessness and the mismarriage, marriage of democracy with dishonesty and the treasury looting in Abia State, would have been listening. So that's it. I have no score to give to them. If I'm giving them, you are forcing me to say, I will say 10%. A man that has capacity, a man that has conscience, a man that has interests of the masses at heart, a man that is in, that has development of human and material as a character, as his character. Because there are people like that. They have that character, that attitude of developing people. Do you understand me? On their own, developing people. It's not about when you go into House of Assembly or House of Reps, you become an emergency philanthropist. You don't want such people now. All these, they are nonsense empowerment. These are emergency philanthropists because they want to go into election. And the moment you give them that vote, off they go. So we want a leader that is focused, a leader that has a program for the people, a leader who is God-fearing, and not a leader that will take Abia more into the altars of darkness. A leader that will always ensure there is a solemn assembly every month in Abia. A leader that will ensure that he will pay tithe to God. America pays tithe, do you know? That's God's own state. That's what we're talking about. A leader that is humble, approachable. A leader that will not, use Godfatherism as a base. Abians must take time, shine their eyes this time. You don't go to look at people who have put pipe, on the, treasure of Abia, looting it, sharing the commonwealth of Abians by a few people who call themselves godfathers. We don't want such a person in power. That's what we are talking about. We want somebody who is standing with his two legs. Nobody financed him. Nobody brought him out. The person will stand with his two legs and finance his election. That's the kind of person Abia wants. Reconstruction, rebuilding, and restoring the glory of God in Abia. And then, offset the pile, non-paid salaries, pensions. Do you understand me? Health sector. Give attention to roads. Because when you give a people good roads, good road network, you give them water, and they ensure that light is there. The people are not interested in asking how much you have looted, because life will be very comfortable. They will be very comfortable. The businesses, businesses will, spring up here and there. Nightlife will return in most cities like Aba, where, you need to live in Aba in the 80s. Those things have disappeared because of evil leaders, selfish leaders. So, if this can be done 100 days in office, I think Abians will say, oh, really God has chosen a leader for them. They should be focused. They should shine their eyes and look for a leader that is standing with his legs. A leader that has no godfatherism, that is God-fearing. And you don't change a government when you don't have PVC. So I urge them between now and the June, INEC is on the last phase. They should all troop out. The churches, all organizations, everybody should go. secure their PVC, voters card, so that we can chase away these characters come 2023.